If you want to get even more information for the champion that I'm playing in the video, I have made a written guide that you can check out, and the link to it will be in the video description. The guide explains basically everything: runes, items, builds, game stages, and more. Each guide also has a unique matchup spreadsheet, and the link to the spreadsheet is on the guide itself. And once you click the matchup link, you will find build and level up orders, alongside tips and tricks for every single champion you can face. For example, if you struggle as Darius versus Anivia because she's not really picked top lane, you can go to the Darius guide, click on the matchup spreadsheet link, and you will see what I do versus her. The video description contains every single guide that I have currently available. These guides and matchup spreadsheets are completely free. You don't have to pay anything for them. The only thing you can do is actually like or dislike the actual guide, but that's it. I update both the guides and the matchup spreadsheets quite frequently, and I'd say around 98% of the total information on the guides and the matchup spreadsheets is completely up to date. With all that out of the way, please enjoy this video. You can take either this rune page into Rumble or the standard one, because this one has some small things changed. Instead of taking Legend Alacrity and 10% attack speed, you can take the normal Legend Haste with the Adaptive Force and then the 2% move speed in the middle. But I like this one more in the higher ranks. Generally speaking, this lane is just about avoiding his burst as much as possible, as well as his poke. Rumble will perma flame spitter you and harpoon you and just use his W to dodge out your Q damage. Just try to play it really slowly. If he actually faces towards you with his Q, you might be able to look for a pull angle, and then you can take the fight. Just be careful in case he overheats, and especially if he has Ignite, because he will deal a ton of damage to you in overheat. His auto attack damage is insane. You can also wait for him to use his ultimate at 6 and then ulti him, and it won't follow him into the realm. Or you can actually use your ultimate on him when he's overheated, because he gains a crazy amount of bonus attack speed. So you will steal 10% of that attack speed in the 1v1. So he will auto less times and then you will auto way more. If he rushes Boots of Swiftness, it will be so much more difficult to actually line up your abilities into him. The thing I recommend into Rumble most of the time is to just play it slow until you're Irelia. Once you hit that Irelia spike, you're basically good to go every time. Unless he has Boots of Swiftness and you don't. Then you're also going to need to wait for your own Boots of Swiftness. Or else it might be more difficult to actually stick onto him. And never ever underestimate his damage. It is absolutely disgusting if you aren't careful. That is why I like to go Kaenic Rookern third into him. I usually go Irelia into Hextech Rocket Belt into Kaenic Rookern. But if you want to be extra safe, you'll go Irelia into Kaenic. But if you do that, you won't have the dash to get close to Rumble. There's not much else to it in the laning phase because that's all you want to do. Just playing it mega slowly and making sure you get to your Irelia is what you want to do. If the Rumble decides to play more passively and not abuse his strong early game, you're actually totally fine with that because he's supposed to abuse you until you get your Irelia. So if you just both farm out evenly, that's totally a win for you. I was pretty confident here that Vi wouldn't reach me by the time I get to their tier 2 turret, and then I would just be able to execute for free, and that's just good for me.
Yours, leave nothing behind.
Rising your Phoenix fire. An ally has been slain. Audacious bravery. Slain an enemy.
I want to walk past this tower here and try to deny him from actually going back to the tower itself. I think if I positioned myself better, I could have actually ultied him and denied him getting there, but he also played it well by dodging out my E.
Zap action. An enemy has been slain. Feel my fury with your An ally has been slain.
At least I burn the Vi ultimate and I get my Irelia now. It is such a fast Irelia spike right now. The lane becomes virtually unplayable from him from this point. He doesn't have the damage to threaten me in melee range right now. I'm just way too far ahead. Now what I want to do is go and set up a freeze on my side. I am so far ahead right now that I want the wave to be constantly next to my tower. So what I do is walk around to the next wave, and then I just sit there and hold it, and I don't auto attack it. If Rumble actually lets my following wave crash into his turret, it means that there will be 2 waves fighting my 1 wave in the middle of the lane. So it will always auto push into me all the time, and I can hold a freeze there. What Rumble can do to deny this is instantly clear the wave that is coming into him and then going for a proxy himself. And that is a way he can deny this. If he doesn't do this, he's screwed. What he ends up doing is actually killing the wave himself. So once I see that, I walk back around and let the minions push back into me. And now I have set up a permanent freeze where he needs to have someone come help him. If nobody comes here, I will always be able to perma-deny him farm. And if I have my ultimate up as well, I can turn around a 1v2 or a 1v3. I can even walk past my own wave and deny him the minion experience. In this case, I really want to deny the cannon XP.
Flammo torpedo!
True power.
This Giga Guard! Explosive face melter! Flaming drill finale!
Killing spree.
Pierce the sky and punch the stars!
Dominating. An enemy has been slain. Double kill.
Level 1, you want to try to deny Irelia her stacks. What you want to do is walk way past your wave and try to stop her from actually getting the stacks. And that way, if she actually goes for the Q stacks on the minions, she will at least take some damage from you. The issue with this is that she can just play super far back and just wait until all of them are low and then go in. And if that happens, then you won't really take a lot of her health down. And she's just gonna be able to Q3 minions, then dash onto you and beat you down. Lethal tempo seems weird, but I really love it into Irelia. And this is because the way I like to play this matchup is to basically wait until she uses all her her Qs on me, and then I will use my own Q. Legend Alacrity combined with the 10% attack speed and lethal tempo means that you can actually just auto attack her down and force her to Q. And you basically just dare her to press that Q. You just keep auto attacking her down and eventually she will die. She will 100% be forced to Q before you're forced to. And then you can just Q yourself and guarantee the hit. There's also a very good interaction to keep in mind, and that is the fact that if Irelia uses the first part of her E and then you use your ultimate on her, the E simply disappears. She can't recast it, she can't stun you, she can't mark you, nothing happens. It just completely disappears. So unless she presses her E twice really fast, you're always going to be able to ult her E, because you just wait until you see the first thing pop on the ground and then you ulti her. I also really like to rush Bramblevest into her. It is an extremely crucial item into Irelia. You can fight her out a lot once you get that Bramblevest and you have your ultimate. If Irelia has no ult and you have no ult, you might lose it. You win ult versus ult, but no ult versus no ult might be harder. And you especially have to watch out for her Blade of the Ruined King spike. You have to try to abuse her before she gets there. You really want to abuse your Rylai spike once you get it. So you would have Rylai with Bramblevest, and then you can just basically run her down. If you also manage to get plated steel caps, she basically can never escape from you. And after that, you're good to go. Second item can be an experimental Hexblade or a Liandry or a Bloodletters. It just depends on what she built and what the enemy comp is and how fed you are. But I always like to rush Bramblevest into Rylai. Also, I was expecting Volibear to dive me here, and I knew I could survive a 2v1 dive, but I didn't expect the Galio to also come here.
An ally has been slain. Killing spree. You have slain an enemy.
If she hit her E here, I would have actually just disengaged the fight. It is much less likely I actually win this 1v1 if I get tagged by it, so I would just disengage.
You have slain. Dominating. Shut down.
disconnected. A summoner has
I never liked fighting Fiora as Mordekaiser. She is so frustrating to deal with. You constantly have to play around her parry as well as her vitals. The mind game of her being able to perma parry your E and ulti is really annoying. You have to try to beat her down early on or she will murder you on side lane every single time. But it can be tricky to fight her early on as well. This Fiora went for Grasp of the Undying, so what that tells me is that she doesn't actually want to take all-ins. She would much rather just perma poke me. She might even go for something like a Trinity Force Rush, and she's just gonna perma Q me. If she had PTA or Conqueror, then she would look for more extended trades. You also want to rush Bramblevest every single time into her. It is such an important item to have. Otherwise, she will run you down way too hard. One way you can make it to where she might not be able to parry your ulti is if you use your ult at a timing where she doesn't expect it. Like you're just starting to fight and then you insta-ulti. Most Fioras won't expect that and might not be able to react with the parry. But that isn't 100% going to work. There's also the fact that if she actually uses her ultimate and procs all the vitals on you, if you wait for the zone to appear, you can then ulti her and the zone will disappear inside the realm. But the most important thing about this lane is playing around her vitals and the mind games of the parry. And they're so difficult to deal with. You also want to rush Irelia every single time in my opinion. And this is because her Q dash speed scales with her actual movement speed. So the slower she is, the slower she dashes. Which may allow you to space her out better, especially since you also take approach velocity. So you can actually kite around way more. And you always want to make sure you actually push out the side waves if you want to roam. Or else she's going to melt your turrets. And never underestimate her 1v1 power. She will usually just go raw damage in her build. Maybe something like Trinity Force, Ravenous Hydra Maw, Mordeus Death's Dance as her first 4 items. And all of those will give her insane dueling power. If, for example, you want to itemize against the enemy team and you take an item like Spirit Visage, which doesn't do much against Fiora because the magic resist is wasted and you don't really care about the extra shield against her, you can unironically get run over by her even if you have an item advantage. It is so disgusting. And it basically goes without saying that if she has Ignite, she has some disgusting kill pressure. Thankfully, I haven't faced that many Ignite Fiora players. But if you do find one, play it way more cautiously. The goal here is to try to get to your Irelia spike as well as having Bramblevest, and then maybe trying to abuse that.
An enemy has been slain.
This is another fight where she insta-parries and she's just straight up dead. I have Irelia plus approach velocity plus my magical footwear kicked in, so there's essentially no escape from me here. She even tries to flash away, but I actually use my Q and correctly predict where she ends up flashing. If I let my foot off her neck for a single moment, she can still come back, by the way. If, for example, I want to go and help out my team and she free farms a bit, she can turn this around and 1v1 me later on. I actually want to go and help out my team here, but I know I can't because if I do, Fiora's just gonna hard push waves. So what I need to do is push all the way to her tier 2 turret and then go help out my team. And that way, even if she tries to push, it's gonna take her a while to actually get to my turret. But if the fight on the bottom side of the map takes too long, she can actually take turrets herself.
Eternal glory awaits me in the Hall of Bones.
Your team has destroyed a turret. An enemy has been slain.
I decide to buy Kanik Rookern here because I see that Katarina is really strong. And Kanik essentially means that she won't ever be able to burst me down. But the issue is that with this purchase, I am sinking 3,000 gold specifically for Katarina. So that means Fiora can actually 1v1 me if she farms up to her second item. But I feel like I really need that for the Katarina. And if I actually want to use my ult on her in teamfights to 1v1 her in the realm, I won't be able to without Kanik. I misplayed this fight. I think if I actually ultied Xayah instead of Zed, I would have actually been able to turn around this. Or if I actually landed my first Q on Zed in the realm.
Has destroyed a turret.
Thank you guys for joining me in this video. I hope you found the information useful, and I will see you in the next video, hopefully very soon.
I am favored by the gods and awaited in the Hall of Bones.